All right, guys, we should have a quick talk here about when it's appropriate to find your players and when it's not. So, if you're like me, you get really pissed off when you play Football Manager and you're like, why did you do this, you moron? Why didn't you do better? Why don't you play better? Why did you have such a bad match? You should be a better player, and on and on and on. It's easy to get into this line of thinking where you just want to take it out on your players. You want to scream at them all the time. You want to find them for not doing what they're supposed to do, and you just want to take every frustration in your life out on these pixels in this game. Now, you can do that, but it's a good way to lose the dressing room. If you don't believe me, go back into the video history, because I did have a save once upon a time with Ingolstadt many, many moons ago, in which I completely lost the dressing room and ended up having to resign after we demonstrated that we could not win games anymore. So we don't want to do that. Now, I'll show you here what it is that I'm talking about. So when we look over here at Football Manager, we'll go over here to this. Yeah, we're fortunate to beat Al Gharafa, who are from where? Where are they from? Qatar. I don't know if we were necessarily fortunate to beat them. We had a much better XG, and I thought that we played well even if we didn't have all that possession. We look here at the match report, though. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you go over here to the player statistics. We want to look at ours, and we are. And we have a guy right here who played poorly. This is Kim Ju-sung. Kim Ju-sung, yeah. And what we could do here, if we wanted to, is we could fine him for poor performance. You see, it comes up. You could be like, hey, yeah, we want to fine you. You did a really bad job in that match. How dare you get a 6.3 rating? Normally, most people would say 6.4 or below is the rating where you need to fine. Usually, for me, I will also sometimes fine for a 6.5, which is also below average. So to understand how this works, at the beginning of the game, every player is 6.6, and anything above means that they did more good things than bad. Anything below means that they did more bad than good. But there's some caveats to this as well, right? One of the big things you have to remember is that a player is going to have a poor rating if he's playing against competition that's simply too difficult for him to handle, which might be the case here for Kim Ju-sung. I'm not sure. He's 21 years old, so this isn't one of our 15-year-old kids who happen to be up, in the top and doesn't know what he's doing, right? When I look down here, though, I see he shows up as a leading player for most Super League 3 sides. That's a problem since he's 21. Now, he can improve. That's what the coach is going to tell us. He's not far from first-team level, but he's going to have to improve pretty quickly. He's potentially A-League standard. The A-League is the league that we're in right now, which might not necessarily be what we're going for, right? Because we want to get players who can play up at higher levels because we want to be promoted. We don't want to stay at this league forever. So there's a question about, is this guy's lack of ability the reason why he played poorly, or is it because he really didn't want to? Now, I'm playing without any of the number ratings on, so I can't see what his determination level is. We go over here. I'm looking for it in this. Yeah, you can see it's a blue dot. It's not really bright, so his determination isn't great, but it's probably like around 10 or 11 or something like that. His personality is balanced. Okay, he's another one of these balanced players. Balanced is a negative personality. We'll talk about this later. It's not that great. You don't want a whole bunch of balanced players in your team. You want guys who are better, but it's the beginning of the save. We're going to take what we can get. All right, I'll also note that this guy does have a cap, and he has a single international appearance. How about that? So maybe he is good enough to be like that anyway. But it doesn't really matter to me in the end, and the reason why is because we won the match. So my rule of thumb is, first of all, if we won the match, I'm not going to find anybody no matter how badly they played, right? I'll just take them off and make a mental note of this guy really sucks, right? Maybe he just had a bad game or something like that. And the next thing you have to watch out for is if your team looked really awful against the other team, there's a chance that the players are just not up to that level and are not good enough. So that's what you have to watch out for. So the other match, when we had Ihan Boom have a really, really poor one, we'll look at his form, we can see it again. When he had the 6.2 against Buriram United and came off at halftime, like he was going to get fined, right? Because this guy is a really good player. He's not world class, but this guy's potentially Premier League standard. He's already easily good enough for this league. He's 20 years old, so he's a little bit younger. This guy is really good and might end up on the national team, right? So, this guy should be playing well. He shouldn't be having a poor match. In that case, absolutely fine him. But if you get somebody who's like a kid, who you're throwing out there for the first time, and they don't know what they're doing, and they play poorly, I mean, you might not want to find them so much. You might want to be a little bit more lenient, not be so harsh on them. That's sort of my point of view. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. I mean, as much fun as it is to find players and to yell at them and scream at them and stuff like that and to throw the water bottle all over the place, it's a good way to lose the dressing room, and it's a good way to make it so that your cohesion goes totally down the tubes. See, ours is good. Our atmosphere is excellent. There's not a whole ton of managerial support, but there's a little bit there. We do have Kim Jin-ya, who's upset with me, but we're trying to get rid of him. We also have another player. Where are you? The keeper who I put over here. There you are, Baek Jong-bom, who was also really upset with me because I put him on the B squad and decided not to register him, right? So we do have some people who are upset with me, but aside from those two problems, he's just not good enough. We've got pretty good dynamics. We don't want to go around screaming at players and stuff if we don't have to. We'd rather keep the dynamics the way that they are. And we also like the fact that almost all of our players are in the same social group. That's what we like to see. Anyway, there you go. That's my thoughts on the subject about finding players. Do it, but be very, very cautious. Don't go overboard. Don't go nuts. Talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.